Hi, this is Richard C. I'm a math tutor here at Wyzant, answering a question submitted by a student. This one caught my eye because it's kind of interesting. We have a piecewise function, and the best way to do domain and range is to graph or take a sketch, do a sketch of a graph. It doesn't have to be precise. Just has to have the features we need in order to answer the question. But really, I always do a sketch for any domain and range problem. So for this one, they used a big F. It's traditional to use a lowercase f. And so I'm just going to copy the function here. It's x squared when x is less than or equal to 0. And it's 1/2 x. I don't know if x is in the numerator or the denominator here. I'm just going to write it as x over 2. So if this turns out to be 1 over 2x, then it's a different problem. I'm just going to assume x over 2 when x is greater than 0. Okay, so let's graph. So this is just the standard parabola y equals x squared. It's defined when x is less than or equal to 0. So this part of the graph, we've got a point here, and then we just have a parabola going up. That doesn't look too good. Let me redo that. So you have a parabola going up like that. That's just y equals x squared. And on the right-hand side, we have a line with a slope of 1/2 and an intercept, y-intercept of 0, 0. So it's going through the origin, so it also goes through the origin, and it's going up like this. Y equals x over 2. So you just have to think about whether there's a break in the domain here. And the answer is there isn't. You can see that when x is less than or equal to 0, y is always defined by the parabola. When x is greater than 0, y is defined by the line. And so there's no break. The origin is covered. That's a closed dot there, and there's no break. So the domain here is going to be all real numbers. And the way I like to do it is to write it like that. Some teachers won't accept that, and so they like the interval notation, so you could do that for the domain. For the range, well, the smallest y gets is 0, clearly. So y is just greater than or equal to 0, which is how I prefer to do it. But if your teacher requires interval notation, it would be 0 to infinity. So it's a nice problem. It's really not that hard. I think probably the main issue here would be just getting used to piecewise functions. Just read them carefully, graph them carefully, make sure whether there's a gap here. We call this a jump. So there's no jump here. Whether there's anything uncovered, either on the x-axis or the y-axis, and that should do it. That's really all there is to it. Okay, so that's it for this one. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.